Welcome, readers. All right, so today for reading workshop, we are on our last lesson that we're going to focus on this target for now, okay? That's the cool thing about reading is that we get to go back all throughout the year and work on targets. So even if you aren't at a 3, at the green, that's the goal, by the end of day 5, which is today, then you have plenty of time to get there, right? And that's why you go to 3rd grade, because nobody's already at a 3 or a 4 for everything, because then you wouldn't need to go to school, right? We go to school to grow. So that is what's important. So we can all ask questions about a text. We're working on answering and asking questions, and also asking, answering questions, and making connections to a text. Okay? So that's the major difference, that you can also make connections to really show that you understand a text. All right? So here we go. Chapter 5. Arthur in the library. Arthur yawned. Oh. He hadn't meant to fall asleep. The nap had just sneaked up on him. He stretched lazily. He had never thought of the library as a good place to sleep, but it certainly was quiet. Yeah. He stood up and walked back toward the main desk. The only sound he heard was his own footsteps. That seemed odd. The library was supposed to be quiet, of course, but this seemed too quiet. "Miss Turner?" Arthur called out. Nobody answered. Arthur looked around. A lot of the lights were off. That was odd, too. He ran to the front door and pulled the handle. The door was locked. Arthur shook it as hard as he could. The door stayed locked. Oh, man. Suddenly, the grandfather clock began to chime. Bong, 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 bong. Arthur was counting. 6 bongs. That meant 6 o'clock. Wait. Didn't the library close at 5? Yes, the library closed at 5. He distinctly remembered Miss Turner mentioning that fact. That meant the library was closed. Oh, my goodness. Arthur was scared. How could the library be closed? He was still inside it. Libraries weren't supposed to close with people inside them. Man, I wonder how nobody realized he was in there. Yeah, what's the deal with that? Arthur gulped. If he was inside by himself, that meant he was alone. Very alone. And suddenly, the library's familiar nooks and crannies didn't look so friendly. Were those shadows moving across the floor to grab him? No, they were just the shadows of branches blown by the wind. What about the books, though? If he turned his back on them, would they fly off the shelves and hit him in the back? Arthur squeezed his eyes shut. Stay calm, he told himself. It's only a library. Oh, man, how am I feeling right now as I'm reading this? I have to say, author Mark Brown is the author. Mark Brown, you are doing a really good job of getting me nervous here. He opened one eye to take another look. Everything seemed normal. He opened the other. The shadows were minding their own business. The books hadn't moved from the stacks. Crash! Oh my goodness. Arthur jumped. The sound was not his imagination. His imagination couldn't make up a noise like that. Arthur bit his lip. Maybe he wasn't alone in the library. The thought should have made him feel better. But it didn't. Ooh, would that have made me feel better? Oh, someone else is in here. Probably not unless I knew who they were. Hello? Is anyone there? No one answered. Arthur walked along, looking around. Someone or something had made that crash. He had to find out more. With his heart pounding in his chest, he took a few steps forward. He tried to walk silently, but the floor creaked under his sneakers. When he reached the stairs, Arthur looked up and down the stairwell. Both directions looked dark and scary. What would Joan of Arc have done in this situation? What would I have done in this situation? She at least would have been armed for the battle. The only thing Arthur had to protect himself with was a pencil, and even that needed sharpening. Arthur listened carefully. There had been no further crashes. Maybe the first one was a fluke. A pile of books that had fallen over. Maybe he could relax a little and concentrate on getting out of the library. And then a hand grabbed his shoulder from behind. Man, what do I think happened? What happened in that chapter? What was the mood? How did I feel while I was reading that? So Arthur's alone. He hears somebody, and now a hand grabbed him. So I'd say the mood is mysterious. It's spooky. It's scary. How am I feeling? I'm feeling worried for him. I'm a little scared. So see, it's important that you ask questions while you're reading a story. And if you can answer them, then you're in a pretty good shape, right? Then that means, okay, I am understanding. And especially when you can make a connection, that's even another whole level of understanding. That's why when you climb the ladder from 2 to 3, that's why the difference is connections. Okay? All right. So you will have your 20 minutes to read. I'm going to be assessing while you do this. All right? Remember, strong readers talk back to their books. You might feel like a crazy person for doing it, but it's what you gotta do.